Now I want to talk about Pluto and Aquarius, moving from Aquarius to Capricorn, and how that flows into all of these themes. Well, here's the thing. The images that showed on the Schumann, right? In a way, they represent what the truths that Pluto is showing us as we moved right at the cusp, right? The 3 days before we moved back into Capricorn, the 29 degrees of Capricorn, 28, 27. I don't know if it goes to 26. But and so Pluto will be moving through Capricorn again until January 20th of 2024. And so the images that showed on the Schumann Resonance chart in the 3 days prior to Pluto making this move were pretty phenomenal. Okay. They showed a white rabbit. They showed a human being opened up and operating, having um, having the sexual parts of both sexes. They showed angel wings. They showed an advanced technology. They showed a man with his hair on fire making unwise decisions. They showed the relationship between parent and child. They showed the relationship between magician and elemental energy, either the beneficial use or misuse of these things. And so, you know, this is what Pluto is here to show us globally, right? These general themes in their most, negative presentation and in their most positive. And maybe the full truth isn't for everyone. The truths that you will learn about what's been happening in Pluto's dominion of Capricorn, human systems, human government, human legislation, human finance, human banking, these big control and operation of big systems on the earth, right? So it's going to depend on what's in alignment with your soul's vision for you, what's in alignment with your soul plan, and what's in alignment with your highest good, right? That's what it is. And then that's on the societal level. Some people aren't aware of anything that's going on. They don't listen to the news or whatever. It's not for them. And that is a valid soul path. Why keep exposing yourself to information that sets up negative thought loops in your mind, right? When you can be free of that if you don't feel a calling to do it, if you've already done work around that, if you've actively made choices and you're already walking down that path, whatever it may be for you. Now, on a personal level, what does it mean? In my view, it means that we simply have an opportunity to reach for and learn whatever the greatest truths are within the self that will benefit you. It might not be nice to learn whatever the truths are for yourself, but it sure as heck might be beneficial. Because I'll tell you what, learning about my past life in Atlantis in particular, was that fun? No. It was so horrible. I can't even tell you the feelings I had over that. However, on the positive side, I was able to learn the spiritual practices to uplift myself out of that, which I now teach. I was able to use techniques like the violet flame to burn off and transmute that negativity, which my past lifetime left on earth. You know, come on in and pick your own garbage up and take it out. I had filled the astral around that lifetime with an intense amount of negative energy from the negative emotions that the person I was, who was a woman, that she generated at the time she died. So this is what's possible with Pluto. You can make some incredible changes. And for me, the healing of my Atlantean lifetime happened when Pluto went over my midheaven. For someone else, Pluto at 0 degrees and then 29 degrees of Capricorn means some kind of healing. I don't know what it means for you. You know, you can have major planets in aspect with Pluto here. You can have major planets. You could have your sun, moon, ascendant, midheaven. Anything that's at 0 degrees plus or minus 10 degrees on the birth chart, if it's a major planet, is affected by these energies. And then you have the aspects on the birth chart. So that's, 1/3 of, so a planetary degree, Capricorn has 30 degrees, Aquarius has 30 degrees, and so on. So you have the first 10 degrees of Aquarius being affected and the last 10 degrees of Capricorn being affected. So that's essentially from 20 degrees of Capricorn through 10 degrees of Aquarius. So what that means is that in your astrology chart, if you have anything from 20 to 30 degrees, that's a major planet or influence, or anything from 0 to 10 degrees, you will be affected by these energies. And if you have anything from 10 to 20, you're affected by Uranus. So you're not getting out of this. Sorry to say. Um, so you thought you could get out of it, but you didn't. Uranus and Chiron as well, by the way, he's at 19 degrees. Uranus is at 20. So Uranus has got everything from 20 to 30 degrees on the natal chart. Sorry, from 20 to 30 and then 20 to 10 on the other side. So I hope that wasn't too confusing, but basically everyone's astrology chart right now is either affected by Pluto or Uranus, and Pluto the most important because its conjunctions have been the tightest, the most close for, well, anyway, in some cases, well, with the nodes of the moon. Okay, so the other thing that Pluto's doing right now is it's making a grand trine, and that's making a grand trine with Sedna, the asteroid Sedna, which is both the wounded healer and the goddess that rises up in transformation once she's healed. And Ceres. Okay, Ceres is the divine mother. She's the one that went into the underworld to go get Persephone when Hades slash Pluto, captured her and brought her down to the underworld. Well, who had the kahunas to go down and get her? It was Ceres, and she didn't have the physical kahunas. She had the courage of heart, right? She had the divine backing that said, I'm getting my daughter, I'm getting the kid, you know? And so, rescuing your inner child. And this is true for men and women. This is the energy within us that represents the feminine that goes down to the depths. Just as Pluto's and Hades could be seen as the masculine that goes down to the depths, right? And all of this results in, well, it results in incredible healing and transformative opportunities. Painful at the start, sure. Ceres did not have an easy time. And in the ancient stories, the divine feminine that goes down to Hades has an even tougher time. But she comes out, through her feminine wisdoms. She's able to rise back out of Hades with Persephone. So there's a lot going on here on a personal level about your inner child. What are the truths for you? Where are you at with your childhood woundings, the woundings of the inner child, the woundings that you have received in this lifetime at whatever any age that is younger than you now, right? So that's what is up here. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? It's really pretty amazing. But Neptune's at 27 degrees. The moon is at 27 degrees exact at Neptune today. Or when Pluto, the exact minute that it moved back into Capricorn. Um, you know, uh, Mercury is at 29, conjunct Sedna exact, and conjunct Vesta by 4 degrees, the goddess of the hearth, the sacred home. Right? And there's Uranus at 20 degrees, ready to just toss everything up in the air and let it fall back down in a way that supports our highest good unfolding. So, what I wanted to say to you is These are the energies of Pluto moving back into Capricorn. And so what happens? People talk about Pluto um, burning to dust, right? What is not in alignment with the highest good. But is what is really the mechanism here of energy? How does this really work? I'm going to tell you because this is a guide for, in your personal life, how might you use this energy? And how might you figure out how to benefit yourself? Well, here's how. It's a willingness to receive the truths that you are guided to receive. It doesn't need to be the truths that everyone else is seeing. If everyone is trying to red pill you on a topic, but that's just not grabbing your attention and you don't feel like that's where you're getting that inner guidance to go, don't go. You don't need to go there. That's an obligation. Is it obligation or is it the divine impulse coming through you? That's how you know whether this is for you or not. And where that divine impulse guides you, you know, that's most likely where you have the greatest opportunity to receive what is true for you about something in your personal life, right? In these key areas, these are core areas of being human, right? Pluto is trine Sedna in a grand trine with Ceres. We're talking about our childhood. We're talking about our parents. We're talking about our moms. Okay. The mother, the mother and the father, these are the biggest influences on our lives. We're talking about Vesta, the family home, right? Was your family home full of sacredness or was it full of something else? You know, did you have a mother and a father? How did that roll out for you? How were you affected? And so these are the things that affect us literally through our entire lifetime. Okay. And if you're older and you're still dealing with these things, don't be hard on yourself because it takes guts and courage no matter what age to face a truth. And so the transformative aspect, the way the energy works, is that the truth is shown. The truth is shown. And then the truth, by the virtue of the power of its connection with divinity, transforms us within. And it's the divinity within the truth that is the transforming element. And it's the divinity within us that responds. And so then what happens? You see a truth and you decide to change your whole life, maybe. I mean, Uranus is Vesta just conjuncted and passed over Uranus, right? That's the sacred hearth and the sacred home. We all have a sacred home. At its most basic element, it's our physical body, but it's the abode in which we reside, right? That's the most fundamental thing about our everyday life, where we live, sleep, and eat. Our basic need for survival, a core element is that we have a home. First, the human body, then the physical capability to protect ourselves from the elements, you know, from others, from animals, from other humans, and to build a space of sacred love in that home, right? That's Vesta, the sacred hearth. And that's why gas stoves are under attack right now, because it's the flame in the kitchen, right? The sacred flame representing the divinity in the home. That's also why fireplaces and wood burning is under attack, because it's the sacred flame. It's a connection with the divine that these things represent. I do not consent to those, to any replacement to that. I consent to the divine within, and ultimately, the flame within the home is the flame within the sacred heart of the human, right? The living connection with the soul in human form. So yeah, and this is a good point. Thank you for this comment. if you cannot remember something, if you're grappling with, I don't know what the truth is, you simply intend it. I intend for this truth for whatever truth to be known that's in alignment with my highest good, right? I I intend that the transformation occur for me, whether I know it consciously or unconsciously. And but here's the thing, you know, what I have found is all my prayers have been answered, all my questions have been answered. They all have been answered, every one of them. It's really phenomenal. It's and, there's a timing to this. My questions are answered in divine timing, and I started to notice this when I really started to focus within, to learn and apply to direct my own focus of attention within. That's directing my own energy in prayer, in meditation, in energy work, right? And setting into intentions. I direct my consciousness within. And in directing my consciousness within, I make discoveries. But one of the questions that I've asked, "Oh, I wonder about this." Like, I've found that over time, every question was answered. And if there's been a question that wasn't answered, well, I can't remember what the question was. It wasn't in my highest good. But it's so fascinating because what would happen as I started to do this process is time would go on and I'd perceive something and I'd realize, you know what? I I remember when I prayed for an answer about that. And let me tell you something, the timing between these things has gotten shorter and shorter. It's speeded up, right? But it's from doing the work. The As you apply focus and do the work, you get the answers.